And welcome back to the Stan Simpson Show. We're talking now about best practices for eliminating the academic achievement gap. Jim Starr, Chief Hartford. Yeah, big forum going on November 11th. Tell us about it. You have Davis Guggenheim. I said his name wrong.
It's sponsored by the Connecticut Forum.
Right.
And Travelers is a lead sponsor for that. They're bringing in Davis Guggenheim, who is the writer and director of Waiting for Superman, Deborah Gist, the Commissioner of Rhode Island Education, John Schnur, Leadership for Great Schools, and Joe Klein, the Chancellor of New York City,
Great.
and just recently announced a senior executive with the National Education Association, so bringing the union perspective into the dialogue too. A great opportunity to continue the dialogue here in Connecticut and about the implications from Waiting for Superman.
All right, so let's talk about Jamoke. Let's talk about a school that is getting it done. We've had you on before. I think it's always insightful to talk to people who have done it. It's easy to talk about what should be done. It's better to talk to someone who actually has lived it, done it, been to the university. So let's do that again now. What the key to your success? If you were to give 2 or 3 bullet points on what key to Jamoke's success, without being self-serving. One starts with leadership, but kind of go on, from there.
Well, yeah, we'll assume leadership. But what happens at Jamoke Academy is we have brought all of the partners together to play on the same page. That's the parents, the teachers, and the administration. And that's how it started in terms of when we did our turnaround.
But it sounds, but how do you, because it doesn't happen easy, right? So it takes a while to get that to happen. So within 4 minutes, how do you make it happen where there's synergy and not just lip service?
The synergy is, for example, right now we're doing what's called a 7-year review. And we have started what we call the BRIC, the Blue Ribbon Improvement Commission. We put the parents on that committee, the teachers, the administration, and folks from the community and our board members. And they look at 5 important areas: parent involvement, teaching excellence, culture for the school, and I'm forgetting the others. But they look at all of those in subcommittees, and they come together as a whole and say, this is the standard we want for our school. This is what our kids should be doing. And so when it's done, everyone has bought into it. And so it's a cooperative. And I think that's part of the problem with not public education, public schools, but we don't have the political, the state agencies, and the schools all singing from the same page. And so you get all of these sort of aberrations going on.
That culture is a big deal, right? You can walk into a good school and you can feel it. You guys have been in dozens of schools, and when you walk into a high-performing school, you feel something different there. How does that culture, you mentioned all that synergy there, but the whole issue of having kids embrace the concept that education is cool.
Go ahead, but you bring them. You have to bring the kids into the school where they feel like, one, the school is theirs. So you have to create these things in the school that's pulling the kids in. They don't want to leave because you create these activities, and so then that starts to expand. And then you have to instill in the kids, you guys are the best. You guys can achieve at the highest level. And when you do that, there's the synergy. All of this stuff starts to percolate, and you start to see it. So when you walk into that school, you see everyone is sort of on that same page of we're the best. We can learn at the highest level. And our kids will tell you that.
And kids inherently want to be credited for doing good work, right? Kids want to be rewarded when they're doing well. Fair to say?
Right, absolutely. It's interesting. We have 6 theories of reform that work, we believe work. And the number 1 is a culture of high expectations, but it's from in the school and the community. So if students are ready at school to be nurturing, and the whole community itself has that culture of higher expectation, that is going to be tremendously helpful as well. So it's in the school and the community, and it'll transcend all the players.
Quick clip from Waiting for Superman. One more clip of the documentary making all the noise out there.
Either the kids are getting stupider every year, or something is wrong in the education system.
I just try to do my best in school and make my grandmother proud.
Jeffrey Canada in New York doing a wonderful job over there. One of the highlights of the movie is the shame of the choice situation, right? The good schools, you've got, 18 slots for 1,000 kids applying. That bother you, the issue of putting your kids' chances for a good education in the hands of a lottery? Something's wrong inherently. How do you change that whole well-intended process?
No child should have to go to a good school based on luck. It's that simple. And if you think about what was happening in the movie, people weren't necessarily going to charter schools because that was a singular answer. There's very good, and those choices were tough as late in the movie, but they were running from a system that was broken. So we have to figure out how those students have choice and how they can get to better alternatives.
Absolutely.
And that includes fixing the existing schools themselves and creating greater solutions with charters, magnets, and other places as well.
15 seconds. Election year. One thing you'd point out to whoever the next governor is, one thing you'd say to them, 15 seconds. Each you have something to say in 15, so 5 apiece. Start with Millie first. What's the one thing you'd tell the new governor of Connecticut when elected about changing the dynamics here?
Let's start talking about the teachers union and how we can all work together to make it. Okay.
Teachers union. Michael Sharp.
The dollar has got to follow the child.
Okay.
The reason is because the money will go to where good schools are.
Okay.
Unyielding commitment that education is the only way that the state's going to survive in the next 50 years. We have to make that the highest commitment.
All right. Again, that forum, November 11th.
November 11th, sponsored by the Connecticut Forum, bringing great people to continue this dialogue.
Okay. Thank you, all of you, for coming on. Very insightful conversation. We'll have you back. Thanks to all our guests, Michael Sharp, Millie Archonitis, Daniel Smith, and Jim Starr. You can send your show comments or requests, or even watch us again at ctnow.com, and friend us on Facebook. Become a fan of The Stan Simpson Show. We're on Twitter, too. Look out for the tweets. Lori Perez and The Real Story are next for the good folks here at Fox Connecticut. I'm Stan Simpson. We'll see you next week.